Why do you think so many straight women love heated rivalry? How do you know a woman is done with you? Why don't guys wear like cozy pants? Okay, this goes right into my Golden Globes career ending party story. So I see Joe Alwyn. Are we allowed to say, okay, there's someone in the room with us. Can we talk about it? Because I feel like it's like one of those classes where like there's going to be a teacher that's going to be watching you guys during your class. And you're like, okay, we got to be really well behaved. The New York Times is in the room. Jess Testa. Should we turn the camera on you or no? I'm here with Adam Faze, my good friend Adam Faze.
In your actual bedroom. I thought this was a set, to be honest.
People think it's a set. No, it looks like we're shooting a porn. When people come in, it's like there's just like 3 cameras around the bed. But no, this is really where I record. This is where the magic happens. I might at one point get a studio, but I kind of like that it's at my house. You,
like, I think what then sucks is then some people will like build a set to look like their bedroom, and it will never be the same as your bedroom.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Well, this show is called Boy Problems. You're a boy problem solver.
Wow.
You are a boy problem solver. You're an amazing producer. You're the brand behind the most viral shows, all of your favorite internet shows, like Keep the Meter Running, Boy Room, Girl Room. For people who haven't seen the show, it started with Boy Room. It was an amazing female comedian,
Rachel Coster, and she basically came to me and she was like, anytime I've ever had a one-night stand with a guy, all I've wanted to do is investigate their bedroom. And we were like, that's a great idea for a show. But really quickly...
you want to investigate it, but you want to give it a makeover. You're like...
but in the beginning, we weren't able to. And so we would do these like AI renovations where she'd be like, first I would start with the duvet cover because every guy in Brooklyn needs a duvet cover.
Why don't they have duvet covers?
Just that comes next, you know?
Right.
And I think we're okay just like, as long as it's just for us, I think you're okay living like... Yeah. Like even me, like I don't complain at all. Like if someone was like, oh, you have to sleep on the floor right now, I'd be like, that's fine. But it's like if then you're having a guest over, you're having someone sleep over, then you're like, guest. We got to get this place
nicer.
Yeah.
How would you rate this girl room?
This looks like something we would have. This is the after of one of our rooms. This is really nice.
Oh my God, thanks, Adam.
We saw some of the most disgusting women's bedrooms I would hope to never find myself inside of ever again.
Wait, can we talk about boy room versus girl rooms? Like, because I was a lifeguard and we had to, clean the bathrooms, and which was a fun part of the best part of the job, really. And at the end of the day, I have a bias against men in general of like, I'm tough on you guys. But once I cleaned the women's bathrooms, I was like, okay.
So this I've always heard.
Yes.
I've always heard like about like people that work at restaurants or clubs that like, nothing's ever worse than like the women's bathroom after like a night at the club. Yeah.
Women are gross. I think women are grosser than men.
What I've been seeing everybody is that like in terms of the actual bedrooms themselves, men's bedrooms are way more disgusting.
Yeah.
Because it is like, it has never been cleaned before. There are toenails that are like sitting on the edge of the window because someone was cutting their nails there and then left them there for 6 months.
Ew.
And it's just like we had a fridge that someone refused to let us open.
What?
Which like I don't know. Like, they know the show was about like disgusting rooms and they were okay with that. They didn't let us open the fridge because of how bad it was. So I can only imagine how bad it was.
Even knowing that you guys were coming, they didn't even empty out the fridge.
Of course not. But I would say the women have a hoarding problem. It was just so much stuff that they could not get rid of. We had to become Marie Kondo halfway through is what it was.
Interesting.
And there was always like a chair that just had like piles and piles and piles of clothing on it. And then it was sort of like, I mean, someone had survived actually the Altadena fires and yet had a room full of clothing that they got since then just at thrift stores. That was more than I think anyone could have ever had in a closet ever. And it became a whole thing. So,
oh my God, this is like tapping into something that I've been thinking really hard about lately, which do you think that women have a harder time letting go than men do in general?
Well, I also don't know, like, is this a new thing? Because I will say, like, it feels like so much of the obsession around thrifting and hauling, that feels a little new. And even though I'm sure some version of it has existed for decades, but like, I mean, I will say like, sure, it's a show where we go to the worst rooms ever.
Yeah.
But every single person had such a bad hoarding problem. And it did make me think like there's something larger here that maybe we're not talking about.
Got it.
That we should.
But what I mean, Adam, is like letting go emotionally.
Yeah.
Don't you think, because I feel like guys get over breakups way quicker than women do, but you guys move on to another.
I don't know though. I always think that like, look, maybe this is my own experience, but my perspective is that as you're like heading towards a breakup, a woman is like processing it for longer, and so by the time they're out of the relationship, they're kind of done with it in a weird way. Whereas like guys, I think, only really deal with the problems they have directly in front of them. And so it's like you get out of a relationship, then it's like, oh, being single kind of sucks.
Right.
And then it takes longer, and then you'll get to the other side.
How do you know a woman is done with you? Like, what are the signs?
I think it's easy to read their faces.
No, but guys don't get it. Okay, this is
maybe I'm more empathetic.
Okay, this is a guy who you're breaking up with, and you've had like the 17th conversation about the exact same thing, and like this is your breaking point. You're like, I think we have to break up. What do you mean? Like, it's like they're never even thought that was a possibility. And sometimes I think that it's not because you guys are like, no, you don't care, or you're not like, listening to us. Although I think you could be better at listening to us.
For sure.
I think it's that men are so confident. Women are so underconfident, right? Like we really need
second guessing everything.
Oh my God. We always think you're going to break up with us. And then men, though, it's like on the other end of the scale, which is like, I'm the best guy ever. Why would anyone break up with me? And so even though it's been like, there's so many signs, I feel like guys are they're always so thrown off when they get broken up with, in a way that I think women don't get blindsided in.
I feel like I've only ever dated people that are like anxiously avoidant, so I think maybe I've always been the person that's like second guessing everything.
We have to talk about your attachment style. Okay, so on Saturday, Adam had a cocktail party, and there was a pianist there. It was a pianist. I don't ever want to say pianist because it sounds like.
Well, I do think what's funnier though, I will just say, is that this guy walked in wearing a suit. He's by the way incredible. Is this kid? He's literally a child that I found on TikTok. He just was on. Oh, you didn't know this? You didn't know this? No, he was on my For You page.
Stop, Adam, that's so cute.
He is the pianist from Chateau. And it was amazing. He was playing One for My Baby, which is like my favorite Frank Sinatra song. And I'm like, this guy's amazing. And I knew that I wanted to have people over this weekend. I actually kind of had people over because I found him. Actually, he was the first part of the party. So I just DM'd him and I was like, hey, are you free Saturday night? I'd love to have you play. Because also I have a piano at my apartment. I love my piano. It doesn't get played nearly enough. And I was just like, whatever. I like a bit. A good bit is all you need. But anyway, this guy walks into my apartment wearing a suit. None of us are like that dressed up. And my friend Peter turns to Liz and immediately goes, oh my God, it's a groiper.
Why did he say that?
Peter's like, no, it's literally a groiper. Peter had no idea who was showing up.
Peter started Birds Aren't Real.
Thousands of Gen Zers across the country claim to believe the U.S. government has replaced all birds.
I think the evidence is all around us. Birds sit on power lines. We believe they're charging on power lines.
The whole thing is a parody social movement with a purpose.
So Peter wants Boy Problems to be a live stream.
Which I think he's right. I mean, Peter is my best friend on Earth, and he's also the only person I would describe as like an actual living genius. And I think like we are lucky to be living in his time. Should we let the audience decide if Boy Problems should be streamed? Basically, should it be? And for people who don't know what that means that basically the show is live, so you can watch it live, and then it'll also get posted on Spotify and all that stuff. But like it becomes sort of a live show, and then I'm doing other stuff. Well, I also think that what is so cool about live is like the chat is a part of the content. And so like the difference of this show being live is like your audience who love you so much would be able to talk to you the entire time, as well as the guests that are on the show. So you would see in the chat like a live, people's responses to what's being talked about. And it would also inspire like, oh, we should ask about that. Like, it makes it much more three-dimensional.
Yeah, the way Peter explained it, he tried to explain streaming to his grandmother, and he said, okay, so you know how you like turn on the TV and you watch the news at night? Imagine that there was a slit in your TV and you could write a letter, and then if you put the envelope in that slit, Rachel Maddow gets it and she can read it on air, and then that determines a shift in the way she's going to be telling the news. Like that's basically what it would be like. If this show becomes live, it'll be Adam and Peter's fault.
And I think, by the way, like, if this show was live, the way I would do it is like you would want to build it around when your audience would be able to watch you. And so you would probably want to do it on like a weeknight when like the girls are home and they want to tune in, they want to be able to hang out with you. But like this is like they actually get to hang out with you.
Right. Okay, but let's talk. The reason why we brought up the cocktail party is because I walk into Adam's apartment and what do I see? The Holy Trinity, the book attached. Which, by the way, if you see that book in a man's bedroom, green flag.
Someone cooked here? Oh, okay.
Someone cooked here?
I actually was really embarrassed. It's
Did a
so
woman
funny
suggest
I don't
it to
live in
you?
this apartment anymore. I live in New York, and I rent this place out for most of the time. But I usually keep it empty like December, January, because New York is freezing. I'm a fake New Yorker. But I remember like a week ago looking at my bookshelf, and that was one of the books that caught my attention. I'm like, oh my God, I still have that book. That's kind of embarrassing.
It's
and
not.
It was the first thing you called out when you walked in.
No, because it's on my radar. It's okay. But did a woman tell you to read it?
No, I was like so depressed after a breakup, and I was like looking for anything that would help, and it was helpful.
It was helpful.
Yeah.
So you learned, but then when I asked you what your attachment style was, you didn't know.
Well, because I read this 6 years ago. So this was a breakup that was in 2020, and I sped through the book, and I think at that point, and I think some of the other people would say that I am the avoidant type.
Yeah.
I think
That's what all your friends said.
but I don't know. I think I read it and I was like, I'm the secure type, and then it's like that's not really.
Well, I think
if you're reading this, you're probably not.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, if you're reading Attach, if you don't know Attach, who's the author?
I mean, it's like the book on
Attachment style.
Yeah.
Amir Levine and Rachel. By a woman and a man. No, it's just the quintessential book. Basically, half of people are securely attached, half of people aren't, and then each fall into the anxious or avoidant category, or the fun kind, which is fearful avoidant, which you have. It's both. Which like you
can
want.
you explain that one a little bit more?
Yeah, basically. You want closeness, so you're literally you have both types, and you go back and forth. So a perfect example is like you'll be super enmeshed with someone, you'll go on like a 24-hour date, and then you'll never see them again. Like you'll like ghost them because you freak out. But so you want closeness, but you also are afraid of it. And often people who have that attachment style, they grew up with like a scary parent, right? So it's like you love the parent, but you're scared of them.
What's the type where like you go on a date and then you are like, oh my God, I'm in love, and then you're just like, oh my God, we're in love, and you just want to like keep, and then but maybe then it burns quickly.
And
what's that?
Tell me the rest. You left out the important part.
No, like then you
yada, yada, but, like,
sort of
what's
love bomb each other, and you fall in love, and it's amazing, and then like a month later, maybe you never talk to each other again.
We need a name for that because that's literally the pandemic. This is a love pandemic. That is like a form of like over romanticizing and like projecting on other people what we want, like qualities that we want them to have. And then as soon as they sort of show something different, we like freak out.
Right.
And I think we expect things to be a certain way because of not just social media, but like, I don't know. Also, wait. This is fascinating. So you realize that we are more avoidant than we were like before the pandemic, the pandemic, and again, just like all of the, sort of craziness in the world and the times we're living through has actually increased the amount of people who are like avoidantly attached.
Wow.
Because we're less comfortable with inconvenience. Like we're a lot worse at tolerating things that don't feel
Which
good.
is why you see like viral tweets now that are like, if your friendships are ever hard to deal with, you should just walk away from them, and it has like 100,000 likes. You're like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Well, also, I can't even call to order a pizza. It's called social friction, right? That like the whole thing about interacting, whether it's romantic or not, is like you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know how someone's going to react. You don't know how it's going to go. It is
but
scary.
That's like a normal life scary that we all should deal with.
Yes. So you're single right now?
Single right now.
Wow. And you're dating?
Honestly, no. I need to date this year. I don't do the apps, although I have Raya as like a joke.
What do you mean as a joke?
I've had Raya for like 6 years, and I've gone on one date from Raya.
You've gone on one date?
I hate the apps. I'm someone that's very much like friends of friends or met someone out. Like I need to feel like I have some. Honestly, Instagram is also a great dating app for some reason.
That's what I'm hearing.
But I don't know. I think last year I didn't date as much, and part of that was just pretending to use work as an excuse. And then an older friend kind of was like, no, you have to make time for this. Like everyone doesn't have time. Like you have to put time towards this. And I think that's, I want to put some more time towards it this year.
Well, that's good. Intentionally dating.
Yeah.
We love a guy that intentionally dates. Okay, so we started hanging out last year.
What was the first time we met?
Oh, I filmed you in my Hotties for Harris, the hot guys.
Oh, that's so funny. That's right.
So we threw a Hotties for Harris party at the DNC, and I gave myself the very important task of filming hot guys at the party. You were one of the hot guys. And then
I was sent it by every girl that I know.
You were. I love it. You know what I just learned? A couple weeks ago, I did the same thing at the Zoran inauguration. Right. I filmed hot men, as that's why I was put on this earth. And then a woman came up to me and she was like, "Oh my God, you're doing that thing like you did at the Hotties for Harris parties." And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "That's how I met my husband." basically they knew each other. They'd been friends or whatever, but they hadn't talked in 5 years. She saw him in the video,
Oh my
and she
God.
was at the party. She was like, "Oh, I saw you in the video in the party." They went on a date and they're married.
Wow.
They just got married.
You should have been the officiant.
Right? I told her, okay, if I've ever, one of my stupid videos has ever been the reason that you got laid or married, I need to know, and I will officiate your wedding.
Wow.
But we were both working on trying to reach men. I was doing it in a very different way, flirting. I was like flirting with guys to try and get them, and you were approaching it in a much more different.
Well, honestly, Peter and I were supposed to work on the Kamala campaign, and we totally got iced out for almost recommending all the reasons that they were canceled for not doing things during the election. We literally have a whole deck that I could show you that we made the week that she became the nominee, and it's like all the ideas on it are the things that people criticize them for not doing.
Okay. What are the things?
I mean, like, look, there's some great people that worked in the campaign, so I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but, I can tell you that the way that we approach I'll back up a little further.
Yeah.
Peter and I, for 2 years, have worked very closely with the youngest council member in New York City, Chiose. We helped pass the FAIR Act with him. Chi has been a very close friend for many years, and I always thought he was such a star. And, there was a time that we were thinking, how do we make local politics cool and sexy on TikTok? And how can we use attention to try to drive people to actually, be a part of change? And he came to us because the week that he called us, the Rent Guidelines Board, which is a mayoral appointed board of New York City, was debating on whether or not to raise stabilized rent by like 12%, which this was after the pandemic. That's a massive shift. Already people are so, struggling to pay rent as is. 12% increase would be people actually on the streets.
Right.
And she's like, hey, today's Monday. On Thursday, there is a hearing where this Rent Guidelines Board usually just hears from landlords. And this is why this stuff gets passed. And you find out in the newspaper the next day and everyone's and he's like, I have 1,000 followers on TikTok. How would I get this message to more people to just show up? And, Peter and I were like, you have to just actually talk to the people. You have to make them feel the sense of urgency. You have to make sure that your message is really connecting with them. And we helped him craft this original video that he filmed on his iPhone. He's like using his headphones as his microphone at the time. And that video, even though he had 1,000 followers, gets 1 million views in 24 hours. And 3 days later at this hearing, 1,000 people show up.
Oh my God.
3 times over the capacity of the room.
Stop.
And everyone is shaking his hand like he's the president of the United States. And they're like, I'm only here because your video. And we have all this in video. And New York ended up only raising rents by like 3%.
Wow.
And so from that point on, we really started working closely with him again on figuring out like how can he be talking to the people in a way that gets his message across. And so when it came time for the DNC, our whole thing was like, hey, Kamala might not be the best at speaking on every topic. There are certain people of this party, whether they're senators or governors or congressmen, who are really good at one particular issue. Maybe Bernie, it's healthcare. Maybe AOC, it's Gaza. Like, why don't we use these surrogates in a way that we can film these types of videos where they're talking to the people, maybe they're holding the iPhone themselves, but we craft it around the message that they're best at giving. And I'm not joking. The response from the campaign was like, wait, you want to talk about the issues? And it's like, wait, what? And they're like, no, like, we want to do what the kids like, which is like, we have someone here that's going to do dances with them and someone's going to play Hot or Not. Like, that's what the kids want. I'm not joking. There was a whole group of, creators that were allowed to be there. Like, we were the only ones who were not allowed time with the candidates. And we ended up making a video with AOC still because she's really close with her. But like, in that video, get millions of views, and it was about Gaza and about someone, if you're on the fence, here's why you should still vote for Kamala. And we were iced out.
There was this winning online kind of thing with the Brad Summer, whatever. But then you talk to someone, like Peter is from Arkansas. He's like, talk to my cousin. I'm like, do you know Brad Summer? And he's like, what? These super viral TikTok trends that we think everyone is like knows about and understands. Like, that's not actually sort of the case.
No, and it's honestly, I'm very happy to have the timestamp. Like, I went on Prof G in, I think it was like October of 24. And was asked about like, hey, like
podcast.
Kamala HQ has been crushing it. What do you think? And I was like, I think that we've lost young men and this election's 50-50 and going to be decided by a few thousand votes in a few important states. And this message does not resonate with them whatsoever.
After the election, the conversation was really like, we need a Joe Rogan on the left. And like, this is happening online and this is like a cultural war, not just politics. What's your take like a year later about what we need going into the midterms?
I mean, so much, but I also, I don't know if it's dystopian or realistic. Like, I'm someone who thinks no matter what, I think we've lost for a generation.
No.
Like, I don't think this is like a I even think Gavin Newsom probably is our next president, but I don't think it matters. Like, I think that like the next 20 years we've lost a generation of people. And I think the question now is like, what is our 100-year vision for the future? Because it takes having an actual vision that we're building towards, and not like, well, how do we just do this thing 2 years from now? And part of the reason I just say that is I think the right and the alt-right has done a really amazing job building in spaces we were not looking in for a decade plus, for 2 decades. And as a result, like, there are ideologies in this country that I don't think we ever thought would exist. And it doesn't feel like something you can just undo. I think COVID is a huge part of it, but I think COVID just made people have more time to spend on the parts of the internet where these people were talking. And so I don't know. I mean, it is something that really scares me. I'm someone who spends a lot of time making fake TikTok accounts where I tell it, hey, I'm 13, hey, I'm 15, I'm 16 years old. I'll even do it with a VPN where I say, hey, I'm in like Durham, North Carolina. And all I'll do is just follow 4 of the biggest live streamers, whether it's like Aiden Ross and Kai Cenat and Speed and maybe like Clavicular, who we'll get into maybe, and who's been blowing up lately. Wait, let's get into
Clavicular.
Clavicular is a 20-year-old what's called Looksmaxxer.
What's a Looksmaxxer?
So he is on this earth to try to make himself the most attractive version. He wants to mog the world, and to mog is like to like have like the cleanest, like if you're someone who maybe comes from like the Zoolander era, like I would say it's like the Blue Steel of Gen Alpha and Gen Z. But this is a kid who claims to have taken this so to heart that he has bashed his bones with a hammer to shape his skull.
And he does it on live, right?
He takes meth to suppress his appetite.
He takes what? Meth?
Like, to suppress his appetite. And he, starves himself and wants to have like 18 plastic surgeries. But like, this is obviously a huge role model for young people. And he has been super, super, super viral recently. Even Mr. Beast said that like he's the biggest streamer in the world right now, which is crazy because this kid's pretty brand new. But all I did was follow these 4 people and like, not to be one of these alarmist like TikTok, Instagram, whatever, but your entire feed just becomes completely white nationalist, Christian nationalist, Nick Fuente. I mean, it's genuinely unnerving. It's not something to joke about. Like, I'm watching videos that are clearly of a girl who is AI, and it has far right captions on it, which are again meant to make some young guy who thinks this girl is hot fall into that ideology. I don't think that there's a way to just undo that by all of a sudden, like, well, now we just have this. We have the Joe Rogan to the left now. It's like, this is like a deep-rooted belief system in our country that, if we can get out of this, it's going to take a long time. Or
social media is like on the like in its downfall era. Like I was talking about this with my dad over the break, that social media has sort of become what TV became in like the early 2000s, which like, you have to zap through so many things to just see like one thing that might be interesting, right? You have infomercials, you have like ads, right? Ads. And that's sort of what social media has become, right? You have to go through, is this AI? Is this not AI? Ads, galore, and like bad ads. You see stuff from people you don't know and you're not interested in. I mean, look, like I'm still on social, like my, screen time is like disturbing. I'm like, how are there that many hours in the day? But I get a lot less sort of satisfaction out of it. And actually I do wonder if there will be a point where something else has to be invented, because like social media is just trash now. I mean, it's like Facebook like 4 years ago is now Instagram and like, Twitter's over.
Look, I can only speak personally. I've definitely never felt worse using these platforms. I definitely think that like I'll be doom scrolling for an hour, as I was last night, actually past a time that I should have been sleeping to be on this podcast, but you only feel gross afterwards. Like you just like literally have a feeling in your stomach of like, what did I just do? I think the only thing is like, it is also just highly addicting though. It has reshaped our brains. I think like a lot of us wake up in the morning and we're like, well, we got to check our notifications. I don't know. I have these like 2 sort of guiding principles lately as being someone who produces a lot of online content. It's like, one, knowing that these platforms are all of information entertainment for most of the world, we have like a moral responsibility to flood it with as much good, positive, educational content as humanly possible. But I don't think that solves the problem, because these platforms are the problem. Lately, I have really started thinking that I want to be spending all of my waking time figuring out how do we change public sentiment on regulating these platforms as much as humanly possible. banning them where we can, and also just like reminding a younger generation who does not know a world before these platforms that there is a world off of them. We're forgetting what it is to be human.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. My niece is 12 and she just started junior high in Montreal, and they banned phones. This is the first year that's like not allowed. And they had this campaign at the beginning of the year in September, which was like making eye contact, like a make eye contact campaign around like the school of like, of like making eye contact, like that it's that sort of basic at this point.
Right.
What we need to sort
And
of
why would they know
reshape.
that?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on a panel
Totally.
recently and someone brought up like, well, like the good news is everyone knows the in-person experience is better. And I'm like, we all know that? I was like, first of all, I think people our own age don't know that. But second of all, if you talk to a parent of any young child right now, they'll be the first to tell you that their child, who might even be a popular kid, is hanging out with their friends in Fortnite and Roblox. And look, some of that, normal. I grew up playing video games. I was playing COD with my friends, Call of Duty. Like that was just what you did. But like, it wasn't how we hung out every night. And like these parents are like, no, like my kid every single night is alone, but they're playing with their friends. And I even was talking to one parent recently. He was like, look, YouTube was really bad for them. We banned YouTube, but I couldn't ban Roblox because that's how they hang out with their friends. And I'm just thinking again, like, so that kid that hangs out with their friends on Roblox doesn't know about an in-person experience. And like, I think that we just expect everyone to end up like us because we're like, oh, it's all just being kids. We've never had that level of like digital entertainment that's that interactive at that young for that many hours. We don't know what this does to the brain. We're only realizing now what it did to us because we've now grown up with it for 20 years. We don't know what 20 years will look like for now.
Yeah. Being a millennial, I know you're Gen Z, but it really felt like the last, helicopter leaving Guam because it's like, I do remember my pre-internet brain.
Right.
Like I remember what I used to do when I woke up when I didn't have a phone. But yeah, for a lot of these people, these kids.
And then do you think even there is the whole like before COVID, after COVID, you know, because like I'm an after COVID Gen Z, I'm the oldest Gen Z, I'm 28. Like in high school having Instagram, you were cool if you had 50 followers. That's very different than a world where every single young person in this country wants to be famous and be a creator.
Yeah. Yikes. Okay, last question before we get into boy problems. Why do you think so many straight women love heated rivalry?
I've been talking a lot about this lately, which is I think we are in this funny place in culture where like women, maybe it's after being objectified for so long themselves, like it's kind of fun now to objectify men, and like straight women love watching beautiful guys fuck. Like I also think that like at this point, if you're a young actor and you want to be famous, you know, and have a bunch of girls love you, like play a gay role. Like look at the people we're talking about right now. Timothée Chalamet, Jacob Elordi, you know, you have Paul Mescal. Like every guy in culture that women are obsessing over is someone who did have like a very pivotal role where they're gay now. And I think heated rivalry is like the ultimate version of that, which is basically 50 Shades of Grey, but gay. You know, it's hot and the guys are hot. And it makes a lot of sense as to why it like, you know, went through culture the way it did.
But also Jacob Elordi, Paul Mescal, I mean, these are also men like that fit the like female gaze, right?
Yeah, I almost think that like everything in pop culture now is sort of for the female gaze, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but like even when you think of, you know, the modern day pop stars that we have, like a Sabrina Carpenter, when you watch her show, it's a very like she was on tour, it's a very sexy tour, right? Like the whole thing is very sex positive, but it's like for the girls and the gays, and it's interesting. It's just very different than like, you know, Britney Spears 20 years ago, who's being like overly sexualized as an 18-year-old. It's a very different, who is it for?
It's sort of like the Backstreet Boys. Like the Backstreet Boys were totally written by a woman. And you're right. I think Addison Rae is also very, very, very girl gaze, and Taylor Swift. I mean, that was the whole, you know, Eras tour, which was like not just this music but this like whole experience of like girlhood being the sort of central focus of the show. Okay, to boys vision board at the new year.
I kind of think that guys like, and we have our own version. I would even say we, I think I'm going to say younger than me, 100% are, and just in a very different way. Like guys are making like TikTok edits of the life they want, and it's like a Lamborghini and a penthouse in Miami.
Got it.
And then making like hard TikTok edits to it.
Wow. Have you ever vision boarded? Because you have a pretty cool life.
Not like this, but like in my head, yeah.
What's on your vision board?
I have a crazy one for this year. There's one thing in particular, and I think it's going to happen. I have no connection to this whatsoever right now, but it is the dream project, and maybe saying this out loud will make it happen. I think there is a reason we have an American Pope right now. I think that he is such a moral voice when it comes to what is happening in AI. He's a moral voice with what is happening with immigration in this country, with the rise of authoritarianism around the world. I really want to help the Vatican bring the Pope more online to like have his voice be on the platforms where we need him to be. And like he's on Twitter in like a text only version, and that was something that happened I think 10, 20 years ago. So it's like they clearly want to be where people are, but like we need them in a short form video capacity, and I would love to be helpful to the Vatican in doing that.
I'm obsessed with that goal. Popefluencer. Okay, this is perfect. We have to get into boy problems. I'm sorry. I took us on a different path. Hi, Liz. At first, it was kind of funny. My boyfriend started listening to men's podcasts while doing dishes and would repeat things like men just don't get enough credit. I laughed. Now he's asking if I think women are naturally better at empathy and whether that's fair to men. How worried should I be on a scale from haha to run, Maddie? Is that how it happens? Like some of these, like it comes on your feed and you're like, haha, that's funny. And then you slowly get
sucked into how do you get him out of this? You can't get him out of this, unfortunately.
You can't?
I don't know. I think you have to remind him that he's very loved and
oh my God.
It's just dark. If you are a young person today, if you're this guy in a relationship, like your world likely consists of these like comedians that are mostly, you know, right leaning. You probably watch the UFC. You definitely spend more money than you should on online gambling every month. And, you know, you think Trump is pretty funny and probably don't really pay attention that much to the news. And so I just think that like you quickly get sucked into this world where there's nothing outside of it, because who else would there be to listen to?
There's definitely a dearth, but you don't think there's anything she can do? Like, is there anything at the beginning that can
off the internet as much as humanly possible?
You know, like Scott Galloway's a good off-ramp.
Scott Galloway though is an amazing
right?
one. I'm
You
actually
almost
reading
need
his
an
book on
off-ramp.
manhood right now, and I highly recommend his book. It's actually
it's
a
here
phenomenal
somewhere.
book, and all it is him just telling short stories about him being a young guy, and he basically just keeps saying like, if I was a young guy today, I would be the guy that is the problem that we're talking about. I would have fallen for all of these things, and I think it's really nice to read a book about him up and making mistakes and things he really regrets in life, because I don't know, I'm even reading as a 28-year-old and I'm learning things that I probably should have learned 10 years ago, and it's like not in a shameful judgment way, but in like a we're men, we can be better way.
Right. Okay, so you're just like dump him? Is that
no,
your...
don't dump him, because that will just make him a January 6er. Just keep him offline. Just you know,
go outside,
hang out in person as much as humanly possible before it's too late.
Encourage him to have a hobby. Okay, hi Liz. I have a silly but weirdly high stakes boy problem. This is from Overqualified Lover Girl. I'm single and I just moved to LA. Oh my God. For a postdoc. I don't have a car yet, so I only commute to the office about once a week by train. Brave, I know. Here's the situation. I hate working from home, but I found this perfect little cafe in walking distance and I love working there. Plus, this is where the boy appears. There's a very cute guy who seems to do his work there too. We've exchanged a couple shy hellos, but neither of us has made a move. I was this close to slipping him my number on a note the other day, but here's my dilemma. What if he doesn't text, or worse, text that he's not interested? Then I'd lose not only my pride, but far more devastating, my favorite workspace in all of LA. How do I handle this without ruining my cafe ecosystem? I have a PhD, but apparently not in real life problem solving. Thank you for everything you are. I love reading your Substack and look forward to new episodes every week. Honestly.
I have a what if. What if this is the father of your children, and the only way this doesn't happen is if you don't give him your number?
How romantic. Do you guys like when women hit on them?
I think girls need to hit on men because men are too scared to do it.
Well, yeah, that's my sense right now. Okay, this goes right into my Golden Globes career ending party story. I've approached like 80% of the men. Like I don't go on that many dates, but like I think in the last 3 years, I've definitely post-COVID realized like if I don't go up to men, they're not going to come up to me. And I talk about this a lot in coffee. Like I work a lot from coffee shops, and I've done this so many times where I'm like, we're doing eyes. Also, I don't just go up like randomly. I'm like, I'm getting a vibe, and like, I know he wants to come up to me, but like, he's probably too afraid. So I just do it. So I'll go like, hey, my name is Liz, or like, hey, can you watch my computer while I go to the bathroom? Fake go to the bathroom. You just like start the conversation, and then usually like, they're just happy you're, talking to them. So I'm at this party, and it actually had a good ratio of famous to non-famous people. It was like a fun, chill hang. But then I see like a celebrity crush. Okay, just okay. So I see Joe Alwyn. Okay.
Wow.
And I spot him and I'm like, oh my God, I'm, so smitten. And then I look again and I catch him kind of looking at me.
Wow.
And then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. And then it happens again. And so at this point, I'm like, oh, there's like a vibe. And, I'm going to have to initiate this if I want this to happen. Basically, I'm with Heather, who's a friend of the show. And I go, Heather's like a big deal. So I'm like, Heather, please go up to him and like just tell him you like his movies. And also, I haven't seen any of the movies because I cover the worst administration in history. Like, I don't have time. And I feel bad about that. But I just also, a lot of the movies were like depressing this year. And I was in a very fragile state. At some point, apparently, Heather says that I said this, but I don't think I did. God decided that he's in Begonia, and he's not. He's not.
Oh
okay. And so then
God.
Ariana Maddox is there. Her really good friend is there, and we're hanging out. And they end up knowing about this because I told them. Dana Cathan, girl's girl through and through, right? Like, we just met that night. No one wants to help me, and she's like, I got you. Let's go meet your boyfriend.
Right.
Like, and so
just the right amount of tequila in the system.
Yes, and girlhood in her bones. So she goes, okay, I'm just gonna wait for an in. He was talking with a woman, which now I've realized is the director because she fucking won last night. So he was talking to this woman. We're like, maybe that's his girlfriend. No, and let's not interrupt a conversation. This is at this point, like, I know you might not know this as an example, but like, when you play jump rope. When do you jump in? Like, that was us. Like, it was a play. There was a plan we were putting into place. So there's an in. She leaves to sort of talk to him so that she can then be like, hey, and by the way, this is my friend Liz. She comes back immediately, red in the eyes. She's like, Liz, he's not in Begonia. Like I said, oh my God, I loved you in Begonia. And he was like, that's not me. That's Jesse Plemons.
Kill me.
Wait, it gets worse. God. So I go, okay, I have to correct this. Now this is like, and she's mad at me. Like, she's like, what the fuck? I just like embarrassed myself. So I'm like, okay, I turn around, I go to Joe Alwyn. I'm like, hey, so sorry. My friend was just trying, like, I really am a big fan. And like, I just wanted to talk to you. And she was just like trying to create.
He's like, you're a fan? Name one movie I'm in.
Well,
oh no.
Oh my God, this is so bad. I'm gonna have a panic attack. No, that night, I was really not okay. Like, so basically I say that, and I think the social code, we've been making eyes all night. I'm just like doing it. I'm like, hey, I'm here. And now we're gonna flirt. Like now we're talking. And that was not what happened. There's a woman next to him who's not thrilled with my presence. And I'm asking questions and like, I'm not getting any questions back. But also now I'm realizing my questions were dumb. I was like, are you going to the ceremony?
Kill me. I shouldn't kill myself.
Yeah. He's like, are you? Now I'm really, okay. I can't believe I'm talking about this. Then I'm like, no, I'm going to be watching this. This
is actually an important part of the process because you won't you're getting it out and then you don't have to think about it again.
I hope so. So then I go, oh, I'm not going. I'm going to watch it for my comfort of my pajamas, but I'll be rooting for, for people. And he's like, who will you be rooting for? And at this point, again, I don't know he is in Hamnet. I don't know that Hamnet is nominated. Like, everything I said was bad. But look, here's, in my defense, I feel like, there's no way I can like put myself in his shoes, but no one wants to also have like a fangirl. Like, if I had just been like, oh my God, you were amazing. Like,
no,
that's also
worse.
not,
it's actually worse.
So then I don't know. It's just really, it's like a tennis match, but like I'm throwing the balls and like no one is throwing it back to me. And then at one point, like the woman he's with is like, so do you want to go or like, stay at this party? And he's just like, yeah, I think we should dip. Like, and then I was like, well, nice meeting you. Bye, guys. I was like, oh my God, that was just went from bad to worse to worse.
If it's any consolation, especially on awards weekends, that happens to these people 8,000 times. Okay, that makes me feel better. The best thing I can say is he probably will not remember you.
Okay, that's so, okay. And Jess is nodding. Okay.
I had a similar experience with someone.
Really?
But it wasn't that bad. At a party, I met this wonderful actress, Justine Loop.
I love her.
She was so friendly. She was so cool. She was so smart. We were talking. We were getting along really well. And I was like, well, you're nominated tomorrow. And she's like, I'm not.
I'll do one worse. I was at a dinner party like 7 years ago, and this guy was sitting across from me, and he goes, what do you think is the worst book to film adaptation ever? And I was like, I don't know, maybe like The Great Gatsby. And he was like, that's my movie.
Stop.
Which he produced it. But also I'm thinking, like, if you ask that question at a dinner party, I think you're trying to prime me.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like,
right.
why would you ask that then? But also maybe I'm just not. And I was like, no, but like I actually love it because it's so bad and I've seen it 100 times and I'm like, I just made it worse.
Oh my God. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better.
It was a late night and you got confused because you're a huge Yorgos fan and you... Don't laugh. You're a huge Yorgos fan, and you confuse the two movies because you love both of them so much. But you really wanted to say that you're rooting for Hamnet, and you're so happy that they won.
I'm so happy.
And you knew that Spielberg produced it, which is why he accepted the award on Chloe Zhao's behalf.
Yeah. Wait. What was that about?
He produced it.
Oh, I was like,
which you knew because you're such a huge fan of
I'm
Joe and
such
the
a
film.
huge fan, and
you'd love to go on a date to talk more about movies.
God.
Can I ask a guest question?
Yes.
Related to this conversation.
Yes.
What is the key? Both of you have had interactions, romantic or otherwise, with famous people. What's the key to shooting your shot with them?
Jess just asked a really good question.
Yeah.
Okay, because you've dated Olivia Rodrigo, you dated Amelia.
No.
Oh.
We met on a date, but we're just very close friends.
Okay. We're going to do a lie detector next time. I think it's different when you're hitting on a woman than you're hitting on a guy. Don't you think? Like,
yeah, I also think, like, look, at the end of the day, like, there's a difference between, like, who's your hall pass and, like, hey, you just, like, want to this famous person, that's what it is, or you're like, I want to date this person, because, like, dating a famous person is really hard and not for the weak and sucks, honestly. So you better really think that you like this person. Yeah. And in that case, like, you have to go back to the way that you approach any relationship, which is like, would I want to spend time with this person? And be a human. But yeah, like, you can't be a fan. Because also, like, at a certain point, like, you know, you're going to see the side of them that no one else is going to see that like isn't worthy of a myth. It's just like a very human person that like fucks up like all of us do. So I've never hit on them.
No,
but not even like that. I just think like that's never been how it's happened. Like, it's always just been like through mutual friends.
Okay,
or
you're
like
introduced.
Whatever.
Okay, I have hit on people. So, but what's hard about dating a celebrity?
The attention. And
that you get as her partner, or just that they get, or
like
both?
the internet, you know, the internet sucks. Paparazzi sucks. I think especially if you're a private person and would like to stay that way, like, you're not going to comment on anything happening. And so like that just makes it worse because then like stories just keep coming out. And it's like, they're all wrong, but like, and the only way to correct it would be to talk, but you don't want to talk because you want to protect your privacy. So it's a whole never ending thing. No regrets. I love all my exes. No, I've had very great relationships and honestly have had very good breakups. Like, nothing has ever been toxic and negative afterwards. But it's tough.
That's great. What's a good breakup?
I think a good breakup is like knowing that it's just like, this isn't working anymore. But like we really love each other as humans and like really want the best for each other and think that unfortunately this is the best, even though you will deeply miss that person.
Right.
I don't think you should stay best friends though. I think that's weird.
I think you need a big gap. Years.
Decade
and you
plus.
both need to be in relationships or something. Like I think it's weird if you're okay, what is shooting your shot? Okay, here's a few things. I'm a survivor of war of this, okay? Because I had a very bad one in a Delta lounge once, and I have talked about it on a previous podcast. Top 3 celebrity crushes, and I see him at the Delta lounge, and I'm like, the universe wants me to do this. Okay, this is evil. I think you can only do this once. If you do this more than once, you're a sociopath. I think you get to do this once, and you only get to do it if they're in the top 3 of your hall pass or like celebrity crush. Okay, I went up to him at the advice of my friend, who won't be named. I have a friend who knows him, but I've never hung out with him. He's like very famous, and so I go up to him and I literally go. Let's say his name is Adam. I go, Adam. Hey, it's Liz. Hey, like, I pretended like we had met.
Oh.
But okay, in fairness, we have friends in common. And so I just went in my head, I went like, and again, my friend who knows him said to do this. He was like, just like say we've like hung out. And so I was like, oh yeah, we like hung out at like a Tony's, like, you know, like, and he was like, oh, and I'm friends with whatever. And he was like, oh yeah. And then we're talking. You know, we're talking. But in that you're like
I'm
judging
just scared
me.
for what's coming next.
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, what came next actually was a big learning opportunity for me, which was don't be a fan. I was too much of a fan in this case.
You should respect their work.
Yes.
You know, they are artists at the end of the day, and like everyone loves being respected. They would do this because they want like the adoration of people and because it like fulfills them.
Yes.
But there's a way of like respecting the work and being a fan of like, hey, this was amazing.
Yes.
Versus like, I'm obsessed with you.
I'm obsessed with you. And by the way, okay, here's actually, as we're talking through it, you want to ask them a question that a reporter wouldn't ask them.
If they've been asked a question a million times, they have a memorized answer, which means like now they're just reading a script in their head instead of like
100%
engaging with you and thinking of their answer.
100%. Okay, this is a fun one. Can you talk about the things men love about women but pretend to hate? Like how we create cozy homes with our silly little blankets and candles and cozy meals that somehow also have vegetables. LOL. This is so random, but I kind of like that it's random.
It's like when you pick with our faces, you know, and you're like you know, popping like a pimple or like a ingrown hair or whatever it is, and it's like it's so annoying, but it's also like something that we would never do to ourselves, and actually does make our face look nicer, and like it's very thoughtful.
Do you want a pimple patch?
Like Starface. Shout out Starface. I would put these on.
Or I have the salmon sperm
like 3
mask.
hours, so that would be
you
nice.
need the salmon sperm mask.
Yeah, I do.
Do you want to do it?
Let's do it.
Okay, so guys like it when we like kind of groom you.
Yeah, I feel like this is a thing that like
raise your hair.
girls do that
guys don't do.
We benefit when.
And do you
do
like? Okay, I have a question because I feel like guys don't pamper. You don't pamper yourselves because it's like not
this
masculine.
Is changing, and this to like go full circle. This is like what the claviculars of the. I can't believe I'm talking about clavicular. Right. I'm wearing this thing, but guys really care about how they look these days. Young guys really care.
Tell me about that.
About what they look like, and are doing so many things that like you would never have expected this, you know, super straight hetero, like, you know, insecure guy to care about, but they really do.
But so what's that about? What is that going to make it worse?
Talk about female gaze and male gaze. Like guys are starting to beef themselves up and like go to the gym in a way that's actually more for the male gaze. Like no girl's like, I wish my guy was like this bodybuilder. I mean, maybe some people are, but most of the time they wouldn't. And it is kind of to impress other guys.
But that's always been the case, don't you think? Like I'll go on dating apps and I'm literally like, this was built to attract another man. Like it's a photo of you
with a fish,
with a not only a fish, with hot women. I'm like,
but that's just them being dumb. Like this is, I'm talking like, again, the viral sound of a guy saying, you know, they got to have a breakup, but it was the best thing that ever happened to them. And it's because like now they're like a beefcake and they're lifting weights. And it's like, no one wants this.
No,
like they want Timothée Chalamet who like is not working out like that. You know what I mean?
Put on 60 ounces to, that's the Nikki Glaser joke. So guys are doing this and it's not, because I think some women think, well, now men are insecure about their appearance and they're going to understand what it's like to be a woman, and maybe there's like a quality there, but you think it's like actually just
I don't think that it's that easy for guys to walk in someone else's shoes, unfortunately, but we have to push them too.
Why? How do we do that? How do we make them better at that?
Whoever has the solution will save the country.
Empathy in a bottle. So guys guys don't pamper themselves, but they like when we pamper you. Because that's my realization. Like whenever a guy, I'll do let's do a spa night. Let's do skincare.
It's all they want.
They love it. Yeah. Why don't you do it to yourself?
It's very low on the list of things to get to, you know?
Yeah.
Again, I think it's the same thing as like with your bedroom. It's like we can live badly for a long time until there's someone else watching us. Okay, no, this is deep because men kind of don't take care of themselves. No. And so, every son is missing his mother. Is that what we're getting to? God. So basically, like that's why when we date men and like we feel like they're moms, like it's because like 100%. They haven't taken care of themselves. So of course, when you enter a relationship, even though you're trying to do, I mean, you're kind of like cosplaying as someone who does, or you just start doing it when you're dating her, but you have no experience doing it. You don't know how to do it. No, I mean, I'll give you even an example. It has been so cold in New York this winter, and I was walking down some street, and it was one of those days where it's like the weather's like 20, but it says feels like 5. Yeah. Which I'm like, 5 is not tenable. But I'm on the phone with my mom actually, and I did not have gloves on because I didn't own gloves, and LA guy, and I had to hang up at one point. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I have to hang up the phone because my hand is too cold and I can't feel my hand anymore. And the next day she sent me gloves, which was really nice. But why did I not buy gloves? You know? Yeah, you're 28. It was freezing.
You could have gloves.
It was freezing.
Why don't guys wear like cozy pants? What's going on with that? I mean, you're wearing jeans because you're going to like a meeting later, but like wearing jeans, like you guys don't have like a second thing to like, you don't have home clothes.
Yeah, no, we just have like, I have like pajama pants, you know? I guess I have sweatpants.
Do you wear sweatpants a lot? Guys aren't cozy. I feel like
we're
guys,
not cozy.
You're supposed to be.
We're always like ready to go.
Yeah, you're ready for war. Yeah, it's like, and if you're cozy, then it means like you're vulnerable to like a threat because you're too comfortable.
Totally. It's like you can't have your back to the wall when you're in a restaurant either. Like, or you can have your back to the wall. You can't have your back to the front door.
Right.
You need to know who's coming in at any given
point. Do you
point.
have that?
Oh, for sure.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I'm always looking at all my immediate surroundings and I'm making sure, like, what's the threat level?
Wow. Do you feel more vulnerable because you have a mask on right now?
I feel very
If you were to be attacked by a predator.
Like, if that door opened, like, we'd all be fucked.
Okay, well, Adam, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you for having
Boy
me.
Problems.
What an
Thank
honor.
you for solving so many of our problems.
I think I only just told you how bad the problems are, but we'll get to solving them at some point.
No, I love that. You'll have to come back, and everyone should go check out Adam Faze on everywhere, like Instagram, YouTube, whatever the fuck. Like your shows. Watch Girl Room. Keep the media runnings coming back.
We'll bring it back as a YouTube show, filming it on Friday.
Yeah, let's go. I'm so excited for you. I love you so much.
Love you more.
And come back and move to LA.
Anytime.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so much for your amazing comments. Please keep leaving them. We have some really funny comments on our new episode of Girl Dinner, which is this show we're just trying out where I paid guys $20 to make me dinner. So far, it's been really fun. We had an episode with a surgeon with a broken heart. Kelly Mary said, "It's amazing how we can be so talented and skilled and it takes one person to break us." I'm so happy he said this. He needed Liz Light. He's going to be using that energy for his date now. Kelly, yes, that's exactly right. Okay, Megan wants to know, but how did his date go? Yes, we need to do a part 2 and I will try. Actually, I have his number. Okay, I'm going to find out how the date went just for you guys. Please keep leaving comments. Please keep following the show, sending it to friends. It helps us grow. And we will see you for our next episode. I can't wait to see you. And I love you so much. Okay, bye, everybody.